right, I think we'll go ahead and get started. I want to thank everybody for taking some time to join us today. My name is Kate Birch. I run marketing with Bigfoot Insurance, a division of 180 Intermediaries. The team at Bigfoot and 180 have some exciting enabling technology focused on the flood space that we're going to share with you today. To manage our time, we're going to cover the NFIP market conditions, our private flood advantage specific to 180. We'll review our private flood guide, do a short platform demonstration, and then wrap up with Q&A to make time for your questions. Should you have any questions throughout the presentation, please add them in the chat and we will address those during the Q&A section. Without further ado, I'd like to pass it off to Mary Stone, our senior flood underwriter, to talk about NFIP landscape and market conditions. Mary?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for the introduction, Kate. Firstly, I would like to thank you all for taking the time to meet with us today and allow us the opportunity to present to you our NOAA platform to show you how we can help simplify flood insurance by getting the coverage your client needs in a one-stop shop. Next slide, please. FEMA has recognized the need for individual property risk rating and pricing that will help create flood insurance rates that reflect the property's actual rate. Last October, the changes went into effect for all new policyholders, which caused increases on many properties while causing others to see some decreases. Now, flood insurance policies renewing on or after April 1st will now be subject to the new methodology. The NFIP actually anticipates a premium increase of 72% for some policies. Now, I would like to say I've spent the last 6 years working directly in underwriting with an NFIP carrier. I've watched the impact of the changes to the program with Risk Rating 2.0. The updated program has caused some changes, challenges, and confusion on the methodology being used with the individual property risk from agents and property owners. This can often lead to difficult conversations with clients when you're asking for triple the premium of a prior year. Our platform is a great way to market options that would be a best fit for your client's needs. Next slide, please. Now, Risk Rating 2.0 is a new pricing methodology that calculates rates, premiums based on a specific flood risk. I'm sure if you're marketing flood or selling flood or working with flood, you have heard all about this since October 1st of 2021. Renewal rates actually may increase upwards of almost 20% for the annual cap. Now, while the rating methodology has changed under the new program, the amount of coverage available has not increased. The limits of $250,000 for 1 to 4 family and $500,000 for commercial remain the same. This has proven now more than ever to be insufficient enough protection for replacement cost for most residential and commercial properties. However, replacement cost is now a large factor in the new rating methodology, leading to increased premiums. Additionally, lenders are requiring full coverage limits and replacement costs that could include loss of use or business income, which is not offered by the NFIP. One example that sticks out in my head was a conversation early on in the implementation of Risk Rating 2.0 I had with an agent. I had been working with this agent specifically for years, and we had a really good relationship. She had just finished building her brand new home, November 2021. The home was in what's considered a non-special flood hazard area, an X zone, actually elevated 4 feet off the ground. She went in to quote her property expecting a favorable premium, and she was hit with a quoted amount for $2,200. So she was struggling with going to be, not only finding placement for her coverage for her property at a reasonable rate, but how she would be able to retain her business with her clients, especially and the non-special flood hazard zones, with premiums coming back almost 4 times what they were currently paying. She immediately felt the hit on how she was going to market policies for new business or keep her existing renewals. She needed quick solutions and started turning to the private market coverage to retain the business. At this point, I would like to take this time to turn things over to Julia to give you the breakdown of how we can offer a variety of coverages and options to fit your client's specific needs. If you have any questions, please feel free to add them in the comment box. Julia?
Thanks, Mary. Hi, everyone. We appreciate you being here with us today. So why private flood, right? I know you have several reasons listed here in front of you, but I want to touch on a few of these items. First up, replacement cost. We can offer replacement cost coverage on most or coverages on most coverages, which is only available in the private market, especially contents. We have higher limits than the NFIP so that we can reach the full desired limit of your submissions. And number 3, yes, we can offer additional living expenses, loss of use, and business income. This alone has been the deciding factor for many insureds. It is not available in the NFIP, and I think it's a great selling tool that Private Flood puts in your pocket to help round out accounts and help cover any potential E&O exposure. We also can offer tenants improvements and betterments. The NFIP is not providing adequate coverage here either, and we have access to this in our 180 NOAA flood program. It also pairs nicely with business income. Another reason for private flood, multi-building schedules, condos, apartments, government buildings. We can take the SOV that you've uploaded into our NOAA portal, and we can schedule those buildings onto one policy, just like with your commercial property policies. This means one application, one deck page, one policy fee, whereas the NFIP would require you to rate each building individually. Lastly, we can write blanket coverage policies. This has been very popular, especially in the non-required zones, and it's a great solution for many risks. And next slide, please, Chris. Thank you. I love a good chart. This is a great visual aid so that you can quickly see some differences between what the NFIP offers and how you can use private flood to better cover your risk. For instance, waiting periods. You may already be familiar with the NFIP's 30-day wait, but here you can see quickly that private flood drops that down to 15 days. I'll tell you a secret, we can usually have that waived. Something else to note here are coverages. These are conservative limits. We can handle TIVs up to $1 billion, and we can structure your coverages so that we can reach your full desired limits. So I hope that we piqued your interest in private flood today, but the best part is our NOAA flood portal. Sarah is getting ready to demonstrate how you can use this platform to have access to provide private flood quotes easily. Sarah?
Thank you very much, Julia. Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah Fickinger. As Julia mentioned, I'm the program project manager, and so I am demonstrating the NOAA Flood platform today. Next slide, please. So in front of you on the screen, you have a coverage comparison guide for our private flood program. This will be available for download on the actual results page inside the NOAA platform, which I will demonstrate in just a second. We have integrated with 5 different carriers. That's including Neptune, Palomar, Chubb, Tysers Dual, and also Vave Canopius. The 6th carrier that we are going to be adding in this next month or so is Hiscox as well. So you should be able to see 6 quotes from different carriers, 6 different carriers once you complete a short application. So with that being said, what I'm going to do is share my screen and demonstrate the platform. Okay. Okay, so my screen should be showing. If anyone can't see it, please drop a comment in the comment box. This is the login screen to our Bigfoot portal. And the NOAA platform is actually embedded inside the Bigfoot portal itself. If you do need login credentials or help signing up, please put a comment in the comment box and I will be able to respond to you after the phone call and get you set up and squared away, no problem. Or you are able to just type in the URL portal.bigfootfinds.com and sign in with your username and password, or you can set up your own account here and access the portal. So you will log in. Once you have logged in, it will show the Bigfoot portal dashboard. We do have 2 buttons on the screen, as you can see, the commercial lines and personal lines. Below is where all of your applications submitted will be listed. So it's a quick, easy access for you to click on applications that you may have already submitted. If you wanted to search for an application you've submitted, you are able to utilize our search bar at the very top. But going into NOAA and where NOAA is located actually both under commercial and personal lines, because if you remember, Julia and Mary are saying we do offer commercial condo and excess, and we also offer private flood under the NOAA platform itself. So in this demonstration, I will go straight to personal. And once again, we do have this NOAA flood button located under both commercial and personal lines. You will select the NOAA flood button. And these are our products under NOAA flood. Excess, commercial, and condominium, these link to all one application. So if you was to select, let's say, commercial flood, for example, this is going to lead to our commercial condo excess application. And it even tells you on the very first tab what is needed, what is going to be needed to submit a successful submission and receive a quote for commercial condo or excess. So from here, what you would do is go to the next tab. And input your basic information. And the address is also linked up to Google as well. So you only need to type the first line of your address and then it should pop up or populate for you. You are able to set the mailing address as the same as the location property address by selecting that button there. And then you can select next. And this is where it's going to differentiate, sorry, can't speak today, between flood, condominium, and also excess. So if you're only looking for excess, you are able to select excess, and it will show you what applications you will need to complete and upload under the application section. And then vice versa, if you are just looking for commercial flood, you are able to select that, and it shows you what documents are needed for commercial flood. You are able to select multiple options as well if needed. So that is our commercial condo excess application. Once you have selected one that you are looking for, downloaded the files, completed the files and uploaded it, you are able to submit and request a quote. So very straightforward. From here, what you are able to do is go back to the home page and you'll be able to see your application that you just submitted on the dashboard itself. Now I'm going to demonstrate the private flood rater where you can receive instant quotes from 5 different carriers. Once again, I'm going to access either commercial lines or personal lines. I'm going to go to NOAA flood, and this time I'm looking for the multi-carrier private flood rater. From here, this is a short 2-page application, and on the 4th tab, you will receive up to 5 different quotes. Once again, we are adding Hiscox in the next month or so keep an eye out for that update. So I'm going to select I understand and go next. It should already populate your agent information at the top of the screen so you don't have to repeat yourself each time you submit an application. And now I'm going to complete the application itself. Once again, the property address is located to Google, so you only need to type in the first line of the address. It should populate for you right there. I'm going to copy the address over so I don't need to double type. And these questions are linked to each carrier. You'll be able to see the results in just a second. If you do have a second owner, you are able to input that there. In this test case, I won't. That is the first page of questions done. So pretty straightforward. And now this is the final page. So I'm just going to whiz through this real quick. You would input the information of the risk. And now I would input the coverage and value limits. The deductible options do vary, so they are not available for all carriers. You are able to toggle back and forward once you see your results if you wanted to go back and change the deductible amount to see the different price point for each deductible. In this test case, I will do $5,000 for deductible. Now I'm going to select next. So at this point, what it's doing is crunching the numbers from all the 5 carriers that I have previously mentioned to present them on the screen. So just give it 1 second. It's pulling that information from each carrier. And these are not manufactured numbers either. These are real life numbers from the carriers themselves. There we go. Perfect. So those are all the 5 carriers that have populated. From here, as I mentioned previously, we do have that coverage comparison worksheet. So if you wanted to really kind of get into nitty gritty of what is the difference between Neptune and Tysers or Canopius and Palomar, you are able to view the comparison by selecting the coverage comparison sheet. And then what that will do, it will actually open up a new URL and just show you the breakdown between each if you wanted more information. So from this page, you are able to select a quote that you would like to proceed. So in this case, let's do Canopius, for example. So now I have selected it. I scroll down and now I can request a formal quote. So I can take this price point back to my client, let them know there is a market for their risk and this is the price point that it's coming back at. And if I want to lock in that quote and request a formal quote packet, I would select the carrier and now I would select request formal quote. Once again, before I do move forward, you are able to select back if you wanted and change the deductible amount so you can see the different price points or change the different coverage amounts. So it's kind of really yours to play with in terms of getting the price point that you're looking for with your client, as long as it matches the risk. So from here, you can select request formal quote. What that is doing is actually locking it down in our system. It's also notifying our underwriter to let them know that you are requesting a formal quote for Canopius. If I scroll down, I can see right here, my quote has been submitted and it gives me directions on what to do next. So if I go back to the home page, I'm able to see the application I did just submit. It should pop up right here. I can see the status is quoted. If you ever see a status that is unfinished, that means you have not successfully submitted your application and an underwriter will not receive it. You want to make sure that when you submit an application inside the portal, it's either submitted or it's gone straight to quoted. That way you know it's in the hands of an underwriter and you are going to get a response. So from here, you are able to select the application you submitted. If you needed to add or attach any supporting documentation, we do have an attachments tab available for you. You are able to drag and drop. This is also the same location where your formal quotes, your policy will also be uploaded by the underwriter too. If you go down to activity, this is a really good tracking mechanism to show you the different statuses, the different stages of your application. So you can see when you began your application compared to when an underwriter responded to you, or an underwriter quoted it, or when it was declined. So it's a really good tracking mechanism. I'm going to go back to details. On the right-hand side, we do have a comment box. This is going to be your way to communicate to an underwriter, and then vice versa. This is your way for your underwriter to communicate to you. So if you have any questions at any time throughout the process, hey, how long is my quote going to be? Or can we change this on my quote? Or can we bind my quote? This is where you are able to do that by communicating it to your underwriter. It's not a real lifetime chat. However, as soon as you put a comment in the comment box, it gets sent to the underwriter and the underwriter will send a comment back to you in this comment box. If you're looking for the name of your underwriter, another helpful feature is this little bell in the top right-hand corner. You are able to select it and it will drop down the underwriter's name who has been assigned to your account as well. So if Julia or Mary was assigned to your account, you're able to click on the bell and the underwriter name will drop down. And then if you needed to call someone or get in contact with someone, at least you know specifically who that person is who is handling your account. And then my final comment before I do hand it off for Q&A is the statuses. One thing I would like to encourage, and I say to all agents, is just keep checking the status of your application. Once again, if it's unfinished, that means it's not been submitted. If we might have a status populate saying more information required, that means you need to provide more information to the underwriter via the comment box. If it's quoted, the quote will be available under attachments. If it's policy issued, the policy will be available under attachments too. If it's declined, there should also be a reason in the comment box. So just kind of keep an eye out for the activity on the account. If you ever get lost, you are always able to go back to the home page and it brings you straight back to the dashboard. And you can start from scratch by going to the Know a Flood button to re-access the applications if you need to. So with that being said, I'm going to stop my screen and hand it off to Q&A. So thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you. I've been seeing some questions pop in here. Let me see.
Mary, there's one right here asking, what if my submission has had losses?
Oh, well, we can help. If you send it on in, we've been able to help in most cases. However, they're manually reviewed by our markets on a case-by-case basis.
Okay.
Let's see here. I have a great question actually that came directly over. Does FHA loans accept the private market?
We do have many of our markets that offer it's a lender verbiage that can be endorsed onto the policy.
Mm-hmm.
Many of the policy forms already have that included. If that is a requirement, we can help.
And I also do want to add, if you all have a lender that's not accepting the private market and you have to go with NFIP, however, to protect the insured's personal property, or as well as excess over the limits for the 250,000, send it on over and we can market it for excess coverage for the insured alone to have that peace of mind that their entire risk is covered.
Absolutely.
Let's see here. I got a couple more in here. I do have a list. I had a question asked and I'll send it over directly. Can we get a list of the carriers and the commissions for those carriers? And yes, we can get those on over.
I have another one here too. What if my risk is under construction?
Yep, send it on. We actually help out with builders in the course of constructions, builders risk policies. We have multiple carriers that we can market to. When you're using the private flood multi carrier rater, there's actually a toggle button where you can push that will show that it's for under construction. Okay, I see the questions are flooding in. Let's see here. Oh, when it says direct messages, are they only to me? Is that it's not going to the group? Oh, okay. I don't usually operate a chat box, so bear with me. Do carriers do manufactured home flood? Private market, I don't have any markets offhand that I can think of that do manufactured homes. Now there's a difference between modular and manufactured. Julia, do you have, I don't
have that.
Yeah, I don't have any off the top of everyone that I've coming across. I can actually get your information though and research it further. I know some of the carriers do stick away from manufactured mobile homes.
Yeah, we have a couple of new markets though, so we would definitely want to take that back, research it, and get back to you. We want to get correct information.
Okay. All right, got a couple more. Post submission of quote, what will be the turnaround time from the underwriters? Well, specifically, and the actual multi-carrier rater that you were just demonstrated, it's instant quotes. If it's a manual submission, typically 24 to 48 hours, depending on the type of risks. And it depends on how much you go up. The more TIV, sometimes it takes a lot longer to get back, 7 to 10 days. We can't put rushes and escalations on things if we're working with a time frame, though, with our carriers, because we've been working with them a long time.
Yeah, I would add, if you have something that you need turned around quickly, you can always
Mhm.
email us and let us know.
Right. Oh, they're coming in. Okay. Is there any certification necessary to sell this? Okay, so for that question specifically, I would have to know some more details. I mean, it's if you are appointed and registered and set up to actually sell the insurance with the licensed agency or producer. I feel like that would be more so of a back end question.
You wouldn't need any additional licenses to
Right.
offer private flood any differently than you've already been offering NFIP flood, but we would need to make sure that you are appointed with 180. And that would be part, I guess.
And the
I'm not sure
Bigfoot.
which question. Yeah.
Yeah. There is more to that one, yes. Okay. Yes, we can do 2 to 4 unit residential properties like duplexes, anything that's 1 to 4 family, anything 5 and up, 6plexes. Yes, we can definitely take care of you. I'm re-looking through all the questions. I just don't want to miss any. I know they came in kind of quick over here.
I had one where they were asking about waiting periods for business income. With our markets, we've seen everything from 3 days to 30 days. It's usually 15. There are a few that I've seen a specific dollar amount, but it is generally 15 days.
Okay, and I did see some questions in here about how to get the agency set up. So I'm making sure those emails get sent over as well. And then I do have a few asking for the recording as well, copies of the recording. So do we have a time frame when we can get those out or when it'd be available? So we'll go ahead and as soon as this is over, anyone that responded that they're interested in the recordings or emails or how to set up, we will reach out to you.
And you're welcome to reach out to us too. We're real people on the other side of NOAA. So if you get lost or not sure where to go next, or just aren't feeling confident, let us know. We'd love to help.
Yeah,
Ladies,
the flood
do we have
programs
any
are
other-
ever changing.
Do we have any other further questions?
That was everything I had.
Okay, I do have some questions that are still coming in, but yeah, sometimes with the comment section, it does take a time to upload upload to the underwriters. They are handling those in the order that they're received. But if it's something's urgent and it can't wait, like Julia said, just reach out to us directly via email. We're more than happy to help.
Absolutely.
If there's no further questions, we can wrap up the webinar. I'm going to put Lenica's email address in the chat box. If you have any further questions that you'd like answered or any follow-up details, you can email her, Mary, Julia, or myself. I'll put my email in there as well. But we want to thank you for joining us today and appreciate you spending time to learn more about the NOAA flood program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
guys.
much.